All right, guys, we're heading into the campus. What's up, Block fam? I am standing in the middle of a ton of just incredible equipment here that they're going to be using for an interview. Morgan over here from Cycle World is going to be utilizing this stuff way more than I am, because you guys know I like to use my GoPro. We've got Brian and Patrick here, right? Yep. So these are the real techie guys. What are we working with here? A Canon
C70.
C70s? Amazing. I've got a R5 in my bag with some L glass, so Canon fam. We're going to be defaulting to some of this footage, but we're going to keep it casual with the GoPro here. If you guys want to see that highly polished stuff, go check out Morgan's video here, youtube.com/cycleworld.
Channel on YouTube.
Cool. We'll do a little video with you afterwards, telling people who you are. All right, guys, so this motorcycle here is Harley-Davidson's newest offering. It is called the El Diablo. We are here at Juneau Ave, so this is Harley-Davidson's beautiful campus headquarters, right, since when? 1903?
This campus has been around since 1906.
1906,
yeah.
Awesome. So we were just talking about some of the pictures that they have where they loaded all the materials onto the top, assembled the bikes from the top floor and worked their way down, and then there was horse-drawn carriages or buggies that would like take a lot of the motorcycles away, because the early 1900s there were still horses, you know, pulling carriages and stuff. Pretty wild to think about. So standing here with me, we've got Paul Weiss, who is, I'm gonna let you drop your title because I feel like I'm gonna mess it up.
What's up, Blockhead Nation? Paul Weiss. I'm the engineering manager for the Softail platform, and I had the good fortune of being the technical lead, delivering the FXLRS and FXLRST, and now the FXRST, our icon model here, El Diablo, one of a kind, making 1,500 serialized units and one and done. One year of production.
Crazy. So I got the pleasure of being able to ride this bike alongside Paul today. Said it's the first time that he's seen it in the sun, so it's super cool to see it outside. It's got some really nice burst to it. So what was your involvement? You said engineer with the Softail platform, just as a whole?
So yeah, I've been with the motor company for about 16 years now. I am the engineering manager for the Softail platform. I did have, you know, the good fortune of being the technical lead on the FXLRS/FXLRST project that just launched earlier this year. We got to ride those around in the canyons out in California together. That was a good time. You know, it was pretty cool being able to, you know, see the sketches of that project, and, you know, subsequently begging to be on that project. You could just tell that the model was going to be something special, and it's something that I wanted to be a part of, and I wanted to lead the delivery of. And my boss at the time gave me the nod, and the rest is history. It's been a fun ride, probably the most momentous, I guess, vehicle delivery that I've been part of. The FXRST here is obviously an icon model. You can see it in the rear fender here. Going to be serialized. There's going to be 1,500 of them. The paint is...
So the serial number will usually go like here, right?
Yeah, it'll be right on the medallion. It'll take it on.
Okay, awesome.
The paint is out of Gunslinger, right? So highly custom paint. It's hand pinstripes. The fade, everything is really just unrivaled quality. It's unbelievable. And like you said, first time seeing it in the sun. This thing has been kept under wraps for the entirety of the projects. And I think you're actually probably the first person to ride one on a public road.
Appreciate you.
Yeah, man, honestly, whenever you see it and you're paying attention to those details, like, I don't know if any of you guys out there have ever tried to paint or pinstripe, but like to think that, you know, all these lines, everything here is like hand done, hand pinstripes, and that the paint, like with the fade, so it goes basically here to here, and then same with like the fender, it's got more like of a lighter tone in the middle, fades to dark, continues to dark, and then goes back to lighter tone on the sides. Very, very well done. The fairing, also playing with those like lighter and darker tones, really helps to accentuate like some of the shape and design of the fairing. So you've been with Harley-Davidson for how long? You said
16 years.
16 years. How'd you get involved? How'd you come on board with Harley?
So, you know, I started working here in custom vehicle operations actually here in this building.
Oh, really?
Yeah, my first project team was Softail Springer
Nice.
back in '07. So that was my start. I've bounced around different roles, you know, with the company. I went from CVO, I went into powertrain for a while, then I went into the touring platform, dabbled a little bit in Sportster, had some time in V-Rod. Now Softail's been my home since, I would say, roughly 2013, so 9 years here on the Softail platform.
Awesome, awesome. What bike do you ride?
My personal rider right now is a Street Glide Special.
Okay.
I will be trading it in for an FXLR ST.
Okay, so you're on board for one of these.
Yeah.
Yeah, awesome, man. What's a serial count? 1500?
1500.
Wow, awesome. Okay, anything else you want to throw in about the bike?
Rockford Fosgate audio, standard, 125 watts per channel.
Are you connected to it?
I am not, but
Would we be able to, just to
Sure.
get an idea? It's really loud. What do you guys think? Pretty loud, right? It's crazy. Yeah. I feel like we're like in a live concert hall right now. Dude, that's impressive. Like, weren't you saying it was like almost too loud earlier?
yeah, you can hear it clear with a full face at 80 going down the highway. It's very good.
That's wild. Next up in this interview video, we've got Brad coming down to talk about some of the design of it. Big thank you to Paul. Appreciate you, man. Very important person in the whole line. So thank you, man. Really appreciate it. I'm standing here with Morgan,
Cycle World Magazine.
Cycle World Magazine. You guys were saying you'd been around since when? The 50s?
50s, yeah.
Okay. What's Cycle World for those that don't know?
Cycle
I mean,
World
if you
is-
don't know, you're living under a rock, but
We're a motorcycle magazine. We talk about all things motorcycles, just a lot of technical reviews of bikes, gear reviews, news stories, racing stories, you know, talking about people in motorcycle culture. And
you guys should do a write-up or like some kind of interview or hangout with that Blockhead guy.
Dude, I've heard about it.
Yeah, I heard he's all right. I don't know. Talk to your editor or whoever it is. The powers that be. Where can people go to find you?
Yeah, you can go Instagram is Cycle World. Our YouTube channel is Cycle World. Our website is cycleworld.com. Check us out.
Cool. What do you think about being here, Juno Ave? You've been here before, you
I
said,
have.
right?
I've been
Yeah.
here before. I've been to the museum. I've been doing stuff with Harley for a few years now. But this place is insane. It's massive. The love for the brand that everyone here has is palpable. And,
Dude.
being right in the heart of it is really cool.
I first time here today. I've been to the museum before, but my first time ever like at Juno Ave today here. So I'm standing up there as Paul basically pulls the El Diablo through the gates.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh my God, you know, standing here in like hollowed ground,
Dude,
right?
a lot of history.
Pretty crazy.
I've
Harley.
probably been out to Milwaukee for Harley, I guess 7-8 times, probably somewhere around there.
Right on.
I started working with Motorcycle Cruiser and Baggers magazine, and then went on to Hot Bike. So there's a lot of V-twin focused stuff that I was doing. So I was out here working with these guys all the time.
What's your current go-to bike?
Right now at home, I ride a Indian Chief Bobber Dark Horse.
Okay.
Yeah,
Right on.
pretty fun.
You were talking about a project last time around. So we were on a press event with...
The Nightstream.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
In Santa Barbara. Yeah, okay. And you were talking about a project that you had
Yeah.
at the time.
Yeah, my Honda
What was
Dominator.
that?
I've got a 1989 Honda Dominator 650 that is just my favorite thing.
Nice.
It's it's the old reliable engine, just runs, does its thing forever, but we replaced the suspension front and back, did subframe, old school, 1973 XL 175 gas tank, so it's got a little bit of a retro style to it.
Other fun fact, so as soon as I walked up, the shirt I'm wearing today,
Yeah,
you said your friend
my
illustrated.
good buddy Trevor Gerard. Yeah, he did that design for Stranger Things.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Freaking love it,
small
dude. The
world.
reactions that I've got from wearing this shirt today,
Yeah.
it's been so funny. I had a guy come up to me and he's like, love your shirt, where'd you get it? I was like, Amazon. And this other old lady, man, like I did not expect, I expect people to think I worship the devil with
Sure.
wearing this shirt, right?
Yeah.
Because I mean, Hellfire Club. And this old lady's like, I love your shirt. Oh my God. I'm like, thank you.
Doesn't even know the show.
Right?
It doesn't get the
I would
reference.
hope she knows this
Yeah.
show.
She's just like,
Hear
I just
that.
love 12-sided die.
Yeah, I'm a Satanist too. I'm like, oh, Go, man. Well, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, guys, so we are standing here with Brad Richards, VP of Design for Harley-Davidson, and you guys have seen him in a previous video that we did in Santa Barbara?
Yeah, I was outside Santa Barbara for Nightster.
Familiar face to the channel. You said you had watched that video. What were your thoughts on it?
Well, of course, I'm always really impressed at the quality that you guys are able to produce with these little, these little cameras and the equipment.
Handheld things.
It's pretty amazing.
Super casual.
Yeah, but it's great. Yeah, I know, very passionate. Everybody, especially yourself, Master Blockhead, Jonathan.
Yeah.
I thought it was a great experience, and I just appreciate you guys paying attention to the brand and listening to the stories of how we bring the bikes to life.
Definitely. I think, it's like I was talking to Paul earlier, bringing the people that are obviously responsible for so much of the stuff, like yourself, having y'all talk about, a lot of the stuff that you guys are going through to bring it to life for our viewers, for the people that are supporting the brand. It's incredibly insightful, stuff that they wouldn't normally have access to, 10, 20 years ago. That brings us around to El Diablo here, which I had the pleasure of putting about 100 and something miles on that one over there. Awesome, amazing. It's funny that we're running away from the sun because the sun's coming this way, but this bike in the sun is amazing. So tell us a little bit about the El Diablo here.
Well, it's part of the Icons collection, and for those of you who are been paying attention, this is the second bike in the Icons collection. The first bike was the Electroglide Revival that we revealed last year.
It was great bike.
Which was a homage to the '69 Electroglide. So this is the second bike in our new collection of motorcycles that we call Icons. And the whole construct behind Icons is it's a celebration or homage to a past model done with a modern twist. And so that's, if you think about this motorcycle, it very much embodies FXRT, 83 FXRT. That was kind of the birth of that model, which was at that time, a sport touring version of a Harley-Davidson with a really cool new fairing and really great new bags, among a bunch of other content. And so this is a motorcycle that pays homage to that. And when we created Low Rider S, what is it, a year ago that we kind of revealed Low Rider S, that motorcycle was also a homage to that same era, as was Low Rider S, which was a homage to the original Low Rider in '77. So
it's funny, on the test ride today I was talking about, you have your regular Low Rider, and then you've got your Low Rider S, and then your Low Rider ST, and now we've got the Low Rider El Diablo. This has its own designation.
So if you think about the early '80s, that's really where a lot of the theme came from. We were very inspired by things that were happening, especially in Southern California, early '80s. So it was skateboarding was on its, I think, second, or I think some people would argue it was its third rebirth, but I think to me it was the second rebirth. That's when I subscribed to Thrasher magazine, and there was Low Rider magazine at the local 7-Eleven, and there was van magazines. Punk rock was happening, and so all these great things were happening in my youth. And that's why we were talking about Stranger Things.
Yeah, the 80s,
that felt very nostalgic to a different generation. Typically, when we have nostalgic plays with motorcycles, much like Electroglide Revival was really a nostalgic play for a different generation. But this is speaking to, I think, my generation, although it appeals to a bunch of people. We wanted to have some fun with the paint. The paint's it's shot by Gunslinger, who does all of our artisanal paint. It's incredible paint job. There's a fade, there's a trajectory pinstripes, beautiful metallic paint. Pinstripe trajectories are also paying homage to the original 83 FXRT, which had pinstripes as well. We had a little fun on the logo with the devil horns and the forked tail.
I love it. First thing I noticed about it, amazing.
We call them Easter eggs, and we do them a lot on CVOs and other models, but the concept is, you don't discover that detail until you get it home and you're washing the bike and you're like, oh my God, that's so cool. There's like a little bit of branding, or there's some kind of little, there's something in there, something special waiting for the rider. And
so Paul was saying it's like a second reveal, or?
So we call it the third read.
Third read.
So the first read is when you see a bike kind of flashing by in the street and you're like, what is that? In this case it would be, what is that red bike that looks like an FXRT? You go to the dealership and you see the bike, instead of 200 feet, you're looking at the bike 10 feet away, and you're like basically where you are right now. And you're looking at all the details, and it's drawing you in. You're seeing how beautiful the powertrain is. You're seeing there's not a lot of wiring or electric doodads that are hanging off the motorcycle. There's not a lot of plastic, so that's drawing you in. The third read is the most special read. That might happen once the bike gets home, after you've purchased it, and you're washing the bike, and you might see something like that, or see something like a bit of branding that's on a powertrain component on a CVO model. We try to design it in a way that it's constantly revealing itself to the rider. They're going to be family heirlooms, they're going to be passed down, so we want to put that sort of heirloom quality into everything we do with the Harley-Davidson.
Especially with them being Icon and you guys only making 1,500, it's going to be very rare.
Icon even more so, that's right.
Yeah. So my first read was whenever Paul came in here and picked it up, and I was way on the corner. It's my first time here at Juneau Ave.
Oh, cool.
And so I got the warm and fuzzies as soon as we got here, man. It is just insane. And so I was at the corner at the main entrance, and I saw him behind the gate. And so that was the first. I'm like, they did it red, because we wanted. we're giving one away, right?
Yeah.
So we bought one to basically do up and give away. And so we talked about wanting to do it red and black. And I'm like, oh, they did it red, like awesome, like can't wait to see this thing. And so as he's approaching, you know, I'm just like getting the pan, and I'm like, oh my God, there's like, you know, fades and like, you know, different coloring hues and stuff. And so that was the second read, I think, is like whenever he rolled it up, that's when I started noticing more the detail of like the lighter going out to the darker, and then the darker going back to the lighter, you know, and then on the tank. And it's just so well done from Gunslinger, it was that you said? Yeah, they did an amazing job.
It's all hand done. I mean, it's very difficult to replicate a paint job like this, and they have to make over 1,500 of them. So, and they just do a fantastic job with it. So
they really did.
Yeah.
What was the design process like in working with the team to get to this final product?
Really talented creative team, a design team. There's about 20 some folks that are on the team, and that's just the design team. Keep in mind that there are literally hundreds and hundreds and hundreds, maybe 1,000 people that have helped this motorcycle come to life.
Right.
But if you're talking about the paint job, it's really coming from the design team. And we have a color, material, and finish and graphics team, and they develop ideas and concepts, and we put them up on a wall, on a board, and we all talk about them, which ones do we think are the strongest. We talk about not just the paint, but like what's the story behind it. Especially with an icon, it has to have a story. It can't just be a cool paint job, it's got to speak to something.
Right.
So all those things play into the final design, and then ultimately pitch it to executive leadership to get the thumbs up, and then actually produce the thing.
Sounds like a very cool brainstorming process.
Working at Harley-Davidson is awesome and just in general, but then having the experience and kind of going through the experience of the creative process, watching younger designers, older designers. One of our senior designers designed this. This was actually one of his last paint jobs before he retired, so this was like a big deal.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, so it's great working in the studio with the team. And we have a good mix of youthful designers, older designers. Everyone's kind of bouncing things off each other and trying to come up with the best solutions. You have to have a bit of a tough skin, because some things get chopped and killed, and you have to be able to go back the next day and be stoked to continue to design.
Yeah.
Because not every design gets to make it to the back of the factory and ultimately to the dealerships. For every design like this, there's probably 10 or 15 other ideas that end up in the trash can. So
wow. And I'm sure there are like so many of those are really good too, so it's probably really difficult to...
The ones that are good, but maybe they just don't fit the fit the bill at the moment, we keep those in a separate file.
I was just going to ask that.
And we kind of like, hey, what about this or here? You know, we tend to go back and cultivate ideas from other ideas and to create new concepts.
Man, I'd love to be a fly on the wall one of the days, because like I have a design background as well, and
that's right.
With recently opening up a shop, and we're basically getting, customers are bringing us their bikes brand new off the showroom floor, dropping them off for us to build them and design them one-off.
That's awesome.
And one of the things that I'm finding as we're doing this more and more is that difficulty of the design process. It's like you get writer's block sometimes,
Well, what we do, and that's how we kind of came up with the idea for this bike, is we take trips. The department's it's not a big department, but one of the biggest pieces of budget that we have, our biggest chunk of the budget, is really our travel budget. And so I try to keep all the designers, majority of the team, out in the world, kind of, getting close to our customers, and kind of, I call it like, you don't really know what the customers want until you're in their shoes and you're sleeping next to them in ditches, at bike rallies and stuff. Right. So we send people out and we listen to all the conversations, we pick up on nuances, we try to find the seeds of like what are the next trends. And because a bike like this takes so long to actually bring to market, sometimes as much as 3 years, you have to be out ahead of the curve a little bit. So keep in mind that people saw Low Rider ST come to market last year, but we actually had the design done years before that. It just takes us that long to kind of get everything up and ready and produce the motorcycle in the factory.
Right.
So when you go out to these shows, you're not looking for the trends that are most apparent. You're looking for the one or two bikes that don't stand out. Like, what's going on with this bike? It's not matching all the rest of these tall bikes. That's kind of what we're looking for right now.
You guys are like design scouts.
Yeah, it's exactly what it is. And you kind of have to sniff it out, use your instincts.
Right.
Then we come back and we have a bunch of other people at the company that are able to chase out, is there a commercial opportunity here or not? So there's a lot of people that help bring a bike like this together that don't get the fame and the, like you get in front of the cameras because it's just maybe it's not as glamorous as the design work, but it's just as important, if not more important.
So I was talking to Paul actually about getting some of that behind the scenes, maybe in the future video, to be able to see that process.
We'd love to show as much as we could to you, but
obviously stuff has to be stuff has to stay behind closed doors.
Right, exactly.
You can't unveil all the secrets.
Yeah, sometimes I pinch myself because like the stuff that we're looking at, I'm just like, oh, you know, can't believe that we all get to do this. We all feel very fortunate to work at the company. For sure.
And likewise, me standing here thinking this is my job, incredibly grateful. Thank you. I really appreciate it, man.
I'm glad you're here.
Yeah, me too.
You earned it.
Have you seen the new kind of trend with paint jobs that are just kind of like a lot more harsher lines, kind of going? Yeah. Have you seen this?
Yep, we have. It's funny because to me that's a homage to the 90s.
Right.
Whereas this is 70s and 80s, that's the 90s.
Dude, everything repeats itself.
It sure does. Right? Well, I mean, that's the trick. I mean, not the trick. That's the secret that everybody knows, right? It's all cyclical.
Yeah.
So, and things that you thought like in your youth, oh my God, I can't wait to like evolve away from this. They're all going to come back. Yep. You know?
So, is there anything else about this motorcycle, the El Diablo, that you'd want to communicate to our viewers?
The Icons collection is really part of our hardwire, the corporate strategy right now, and we're trying to create as much desirability with our products as possible. One of the ways that we can do that is to really, you know, take a model that's very popular like Low Rider ST and then do something to it that makes it like crazy popular, like really create the I have to have that motorcycle.
Right.
And so it's just fun to get into a motorcycle like that and just kind of say, what would I do if I could do anything? And that's really what this motorcycle is. And then to make it available to over 1,500 people worldwide and serialized is pretty cool. And so I just wanted to say that these are very special motorcycles. You know, you won't see them again. And there's more coming.
I think it's incredibly insightful, as always, being able to talk to you about, you know, the process of the bikes, boots on the ground, sleeping in the ditches thing.
Yeah.
I know people are going to love that because I do. The fact that like you send people out to like, you know, get a pulse on the community. Love that. Really shows that you guys are in touch. So if you guys watching have any questions, do me a favor, be sure to drop them down in the comments section below. Big thanks to Brad. Yeah. Appreciate you, man. Instagram, you want me to send anybody?
I'm Zen of Nito.
Zen of Nito.
Z-E-N.
You guys go follow him on Instagram. He posts just awesome stuff. I'm always super jealous seeing this guy's adventures, but highly recommend to follow. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Big thanks to Harley-Davidson. Awesome being here at Juneau Ave. Big thanks to these guys as well. Appreciate y'all. And Paul, Morgan back there. If you guys did enjoy the video, do me a favor, hit the like button. If you're not subscribed, hit subscribe, hit the bell icon also, so it sends you notifications of future uploads and activity. Until next time, ride safe out there, stay vigilant. Catch you guys in the next one. Peace.